Hey everyone, Coach Travis Robertson, really excited to be here with you today because I want to say this. Congratulations. Here we are at the end of another year, heading into a new year, and you made it. Now, I don't know how you made it. Some of you just like limped across the finish line. You're exhausted, you're burnt out. You don't know how you survived. I mean, you got dragged through this year and it may not have been a good year for you. For others, maybe this was a great year. Maybe you finished this year at the top of your game, at the top of your business, and this is your business's best year ever. Maybe personally it's your best year ever, and I just want to say to you, congratulations. You're in the right spot, because I know for most of you, if that's where you are, you want to figure out, how do I keep momentum going? How do I grow from here? How do I hit that next level? And if you just limped across the finish line, if you just barely survived and barely made it across, you may be wondering, how do I keep that from happening again next year? How do I make this next year an incredible year? How do I make this next year the best year of my business, the best year of my life? And that's really what I want to walk you through. It's a 7-step annual review and business planning process that we teach. And the reason it's 7 steps is it's very simple, it's very easy. Now, my own business, I go through a 17-step process that we do, but I want to keep this simple for you. I know a lot of you hate business planning, you hate the idea of it. I love it. I love that time of year when I get to sit down and plan my business and dream about what could be, but I know for some of you that's overwhelming and you don't like to do the process, but it's absolutely critical, because if you don't know where you're going, I guarantee you're going to get there. If you don't plan to get anywhere, you're going to get exactly where you're planning to be, which is nowhere. And so I want you to have at least a minimum plan in place that is easy, that is fun to walk through, and you can do it for yourself, and you can do this with your team members. So if you have team leaders, if you have a management team, a leadership team, heck, you can do it with everybody on your team. You can walk them through a very similar process for their own areas and for their own lives. So this is a really useful, handy tool. Now, here's the other thing. At the very end, got some free gifts for you. Today, we're only going to hit this at a very high level, but I have some gifts for you. We've got a PDF that is going to walk you through this entire process step by step, all the questions, all the details at each level, so you can work through this on your own time. Additionally, we want to give you a free coaching session. As you're heading into this next year, I want to make sure that you get as much out of it as possible, and we would love to get you on the phone with one of our coaches, and they can sit down and talk with you about your business, your goals, and where you're going, and help you get to that next level. And we've got some other fun stuff that I'll tell you more about at the end. All right, so let's jump in and review the 7-step annual review and business planning process. Step number 1 is this. You need to assess your situation. So the very first place I always start, and I always encourage our coaching members and anybody we work with to start, is, hey, just review last year. What went well? What didn't go well? What would you change? And again, we've got a whole set of questions that I'm going to give you that goes through this, but your whole idea here, the whole goal, is to just kind of review what worked and what didn't work. Be honest with yourself. And all of this, by the way, all of this, you guys, takes an immense level of honesty. You've got to be honest with yourself, and you've got to be able to assess your situation with incredible honesty. Because if you lie to yourself, you can't fix it. If you're not honest about something, you can't fix what you're not honest about. So I want you to be honest about your current situation. What happened this year? What went well? What didn't go well? And again, we'll give you all the questions for this. But once you know that, then you can start looking ahead to next year. Then you can start thinking through, what is it going to be like from here forward? Now, that's step 2, and this is the next step, is I want you to determine what you want. What do you want out of next year? You know, and this isn't just goals. I mean, most people go, okay, this is the goal setting part. This isn't the goal setting part. Goals are a little bit different. Goals are a little bit more specific. I'm talking big level outcomes. What are the high level outcomes you want for your life, for your business, for your health, for your relationships? You know, do you want more time with family? Do you want more financial freedom? Would you like a business that runs a lot more smoothly than maybe your current business does? Do you want a bigger team? Do you want a smaller team? Do you want to sell? What do you want out of this next year? Because until you know what you want, goals don't matter. You can set a goal to make $10 million, but if at the end of the year you really want to sell and you want to downsize, a goal of $10 million is a fine goal, but not right for you if you're actually looking to downsize from there. So you got to figure out, what do you want? And then from there, once you know what you want, you don't go into the, now how do I get it, which is where most people go. You next step go to this. Why do you want it? Why do you want this goal? Why do you want this particular outcome or these particular outcomes? Why does it matter to you? What is the driving purpose? See, if you know what you want, but you don't know why you want it, you're not going to be able to get there as effectively as somebody who knows exactly why they want an outcome in their life. See, the strength of your why will determine your outcome. And I want you to write that down if you're taking notes. The strength of your why will determine your outcome. You give me two people who want the exact same goal, who have the exact same resources, who have the exact same talent, and they both say to me, I want to make $1 million. I want my business to do $1 million this year. And they are identical in every way. And person A, if I say, why do you want to make $1 million? They go, I don't know, it sounds like a lot of money. I mean, who doesn't want to make $1 million? I go, okay, that's fine. That's your thing. Person A, you want to make $1 million and you think it just sounds like a sexy number. Person B, why do you want to make $1 million? And person B says, well, I have to make $1 million because, you know what, I got kids going to college and that crap's expensive. On top of that, we would love to be able to save for retirement, and my parents are getting older and they're not getting any younger, and their health isn't getting any better, and they got wiped out in that last market downturn. I'd really love to be able to provide for them a lifestyle in their retirement that they don't have to worry about money. They don't have to worry about their finances. Who do you think I'm going to get bet on, person A or person B? Who are you going to bet on, person A or person B? Person B all the time. Why? The only difference, everything was identical except what? The reason, the purpose, the why, the motivation behind what they say that they want to do. So you need to know what you want and why you want it. When you know those two things, you're unstoppable, absolutely unstoppable. But if you look at your goal, if you look at your outcomes, if you look at your why, and they're not motivating, you have the wrong goals, you have the wrong outcomes, you have the wrong why, and you need to dig deeper. You need to go deeper. So again, our worksheet is going to walk you through exactly how to dig deep on this, all right? Step number 4. Again, most people are like, okay, now is where I figure out what I have to do, and it's not. Now you need to figure out the who. And what I mean by the who is who needs to show up to get this goal, to get this outcome, to achieve these things in your business, in your life. Who needs to show up? Do you need to be a better leader? Do you need to be a better husband, a better wife, a better father, a better mother? Like, what do you need to be? Who do you need to become to hit those goals, to hit those outcomes? Because who you've been in the past is not enough to get you to where you want to be. You have to change to get something more. You have to become somebody bigger. You have to become somebody better to get to a higher level in your own business. So who do you need to become, and who needs to show up? On top of that, who do you need on your team? Because here's another thing that most people don't think about. Maybe you have a team. Maybe you've got a large team, a small team. Maybe you're just starting up and you're looking at, I need to build a team. You know, I got to hire some people. Here's what I can tell you. The same people oftentimes who get you to $1 million in revenue or $2 million in revenue or $5 million in revenue may not be the same group that's going to get you to 10 or 20 or beyond. You've got to figure out who you need on your team and who you need to become to get to that next level. Now, once you know who, then you need to identify your learning objectives. So if you know who you need to become and you know who you are right now, there's a gap there, right? There's a gap between what you want in life and what you want in your business and where you are. And there's a gap between where you are right now in knowledge and where you're going to. And you've got to figure out, what do I have to learn to close that gap? So if I need to become a better leader, what do I have to learn? Who do I have to learn from? What are my different learning objectives, skill sets that I have to develop to get my business, to get my life to a whole nother level? And some of these things may be things your people have to learn. I don't know. But you've got to identify, how do we close the knowledge gap between where we are and where we need to be? Then from there, step 6, now you're getting into the how, the actual, what are we going to do to close that gap between the money we make right now and the money we want to make, the business we have right now and the business we want to have. Now's where you're going to start to create options for closing that gap. And in this process, in this step of the process, it's all about brain dumping. It's all about getting the ideas out there. Just get as many ideas out as possible. So let's just take a simple example. Let's say this last year you grossed $1 million in revenue, and you say this next year I want to do $2 million in revenue. That's great. So you say, okay, how do we close the gap between 1 million and 2 million? What are all the different things we could do? What are all the different product lines, services, things that we could do to move from 1 million to 2 million over the next year? And you just brain dump it all. There's no bad idea. There's no good idea. This is just get it all out there. Be creative. Come up with at least 10, at least 10, because the first 5 are easy. You're like, I got at least 5. Second 5, you're like, well, I can get a little creative. Once you get about 10 ideas down, then you have to get really creative. And I want you to come up with 15, 20, maybe even 30 different ideas. This is just not that you're gonna do them all. Some of you are like, I can't do that much. You don't have to do them all. This is just getting ideas out. This is getting the creative juices flowing. So if one of your ideas is, to move from $1 million to $2 million, I could sell crack cocaine on the side. Hey, write it down. I'm not saying you should do that. Write it down and just move on. Just get all the ideas out there. Then once you have all the ideas out there, step number 7 is this. You focus on 1 to 3 strategies. So once you have 15, 20, 30, 10, whatever it is, now you take that and you ask a question. If I could only do one of these, if I could only do one of these over the next 12 months, which one is going to move me closest to the outcome that I desire? To move me from where I am to where I want to be, which one is going to get me all the way there or get me closest to being there over the next 12 months? If I could only do one. Then you ask it again. Okay, if I could do that one plus one more, what would that be? And if I could do those 2 plus one more, what would that be? And you pick 2, maybe 3 strategies, and then those are the ones that you focus on. You go execute. Don't worry about the other ones right now. Those can be backburnered, and you can start working on number 1, number 2, number 3. And if it doesn't work or you're hitting roadblocks or it's not feeling right, now you can go back to your list, or you can create a new list and you can come up with new ways that you could close the gap between where you are and where you want to be. But now you have options. And most people never give themselves options. They just think that there's a limited number of ways they can get there, and if those things don't work, they get frustrated and they quit. So I want you to have as many options as possible, but I want you to focus on 1 to 3 strategies over the next 12 months. All right, so again, there's a whole roadmap, a whole PDF that we're gonna walk you through this. I'm walking you through this because I created the PDF. So I'm gonna walk you through step by step how to do each one of these activities. And when you're done, you've got a very clear roadmap. You know what you want, why you want it, you know who you need to become, you know the strategies you're going to use to employ it, what you need to learn, what your team needs to learn, and now you're ready to go crush the next 12 months. So here's your next action step, you guys. Download the business plan and review PDF. Work through it. Work through that worksheet. It won't take you very long. You could do it in a half day, maybe even a day if you wanted to really dig in on it. So take a Saturday, take a weekend, a Sunday, whatever it is, and just invest time. A little bit of time invested in this on the front end makes a world of difference on the back end, all right? Number 2, register for our upcoming lead generation webinar. We have an upcoming webinar. I would love to have you on there. So as we're heading into the next year and looking at how are you going to generate new leads for your business, we cover a lot of strategies, and I would love for you to join us on that webinar. Got a lot of great things we're going to be sharing with you there. Join us at one of our live events. We have some incredible live events. If you want to know what we have coming up, go to travisrobertson.com. All the links, by the way, are below this video, and so you can, or above, depending on where you're watching this, but all the links are there. You can register for our upcoming events. We would love to see you at a live event. They're great opportunities, and then do not forget to take advantage of your free coaching session. And if you've had one with us in the past and it's been a while and you would like to try it out again, schedule another one. I will gladly give you another one. If you want to see if it works for you, feel free, grab a free coaching session. We would love to talk with you and figure out how we can help you and serve you and support you in the coming year. Now, let me just say this, guys. You made it. I'm proud of you. I'm excited for you. Next year is a whole new year. And if you believe in yourself half as much as I believe in you, you have an amazing year, amazing business, an amazing life ahead. And it is an honor to serve you in this capacity that I get to. I thank you and I value you and I honor you and I look forward to serving you again next year. Take care.